Welcome to the Journey podcast. And this time we have a very interesting guest. I'm actually in Bali. Not in the best condition, as you hear, a little bit cold, but I feel overall well. I have a guest from Spain. Her name is Cristina. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Cristina is the author of the book Padel Psychology. Can I take it
Yeah,
to
for
show
sure.
them? Like this book. Yeah, what is in it? The golden nuggets. That's for later. And yeah, today the reason I invited her actually is because I play at a paddle club BPA, and her husband, or well, yeah, husband Alaish is a very good coach and player. And then later on, I saw a woman walking with a little dog, Lola. Everybody knows Lola now in Bali, and it was Cristina. And then I knew you had the book, so I started to ask some questions, and found out that like she's a psychologist actually also. Just finished, and I was very interested in what she exactly knows about the psychology of paddle, and because I love the sport and it's really growing. So I invited her to ask the most vital questions. So I would say like enjoy this episode if you want to learn about psychology, paddle, then better the quality of your life. Then this is for you. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you.
we start immediately. Where does the interest for psychology come from?
Well, it's curious because when I started studying in the university, I was focused on something totally different. I started with marketing, but at that time I was a teenager that I I was a little bit like in the middle of something. I was always a little bit angry, not being able to be in contact with myself. So I ended up having a huge motorbike accident and with a friend of mine, and well, his condition was like super bad. So someone asked me, "Hey, do you want to receive some psychological help?" And at that moment, I declined. But then after that, I was like, "Okay, I really think I need some help." So I didn't start with psychology because at that moment, I'm talking about more than 15 years ago. I remember it was not like that common to go to the psychologist, but my mom advised me like, "Hey, I know something that's new called coaching. Would you like to try?" And I was like, "Okay, why not?" And it actually helped me a lot. So I really discovered myself. So I decided that I wanted to change what I was doing at that time, and I started studying coaching, master in coaching, and then I went through different kind of type of psychologists, not the university, till I decided to pursue the whole career, the degree.
So you
So
in
it
a,
was from
yeah
a personal experience that I discovered this world,
yeah.
and suddenly it was like, wow, this is what passion means when you are truly interested about something. So it was a huge experience for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so it had a huge impact on you. And then what helped you so much that you were like, I want to learn more about this?
Basically, because during many years, I was not aware of what was happening to me. I didn't know what I wanted. I used to, well, as most teenagers, no, but I used to go out a lot. But I didn't realize that I was not in contact with my emotions. I didn't feel like I was sad. So I remember first thing that I did when I had this first session, coaching session, it was start crying because suddenly I was like, wow, I'm in pain, and I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. So to me, it was more the like to be able to rediscover myself, and yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, it never ends.
Exactly. And because it's 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, now I'm like, how were those 15 years? And now, yeah, fast forward, you're here. Um, First thing I would love to know is like that what is you had an obstacle and then you learned about psychology, and then what was like a very important phase in your life? Can you bring us to an important phase in your life where you learned so much and might share some valuable lesson out of it?
Well, I think that that was probably the game changer in my life when I start realizing that I had something that I could be passionate about it. Because especially what I realized at that moment is that my self-esteem was very low, very, very low. I was not a good student when I was younger. I didn't thought I was capable to achieve things. So being able to understand that, that I didn't thought that I was capable to pursue like bigger things, for me was the most, I think, big big thing that I discovered about myself. So that's why from that I started like my own path till I decided to study psychology, because at that moment I thought I was not capable to do it. Imagine. Yeah. So it took me like almost 10 years. Yeah.
Wow, like, so that happened, and 10 years later you pursued a psychology path, and in those 10 years you didn't believe you could do that.
Exactly.
Wow.
And also, of course, when I started playing padel,
Yeah.
that it was about 6 years ago, it was when I realized that all these fears that I had in life were like in my game, you know? It was perfect. I could see everything in my game.
Yeah.
The fear of missing a shot, all these kind of things were reflect there. So I was like, that's why I started thinking we need to share all this information. But basically because through padel I was still capable, or I had the chance to still knowing about myself. Yeah.
That's interesting. That I believe that's a beautiful bridge to paddle for now.
Yeah.
Because we're here and you wrote a book about paddle.
Yeah.
And paddle is already famous in like Spain and started in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
How like tell me about the first moment you discovered paddle.
Well, I started playing padel because I had some friends that they used to play. The thing is that I started playing padel around when I was 25, something like this. I think that some friends of mine, they were playing during summer, so I joined them, but they were already pretty good. So I decided that I only played during summer, but I was not passionate about it at all. So I stopped playing, and then after 5 years, when I turned 30, one of my best friends, he organized a tournament, and he was missing one team for the bronze category, so the lowest one.
No.
And he was like, Chris, you're joining me. I mean, I need you. You're going to play with some girl that you already know. And I was like, no, come on. I haven't played since 4 years ago. So, yeah. But at the end, I was like, okay, I'll do it for you. It's fine. And the funny thing is that my expectations were so low that about myself, about what I was capable to do at that moment, that I had so much fun during the whole weekend. And I remember when the tournament was over, I was like, wow, I want to learn this sport. My sister already played since many years ago, so she was like, okay, you need to start with some lessons. And from that, I just started playing and training. I met Alesh. Yes,
Wow,
my husband.
it's a love story.
Yeah, yes. Well,
What?
yeah. Actually, he was my paddle coach.
Guys, you know where to find them, right? Girls. Oh, wow, that's the ultimate story. Oh, nice. Wow, in Spain, was this?
Yeah.
Wow, where in Spain?
Next to Barcelona, close from Barcelona.
I now really imagine like a little village next to the big city.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and then like a very old school paddle court, like where soccer started in Brazil on the street where I watched it when I was young. I see this, and then you see your coach and you fall in love with the coach, and he's like, oh, that's a pretty student.
It wasn't like this, but yeah, we had a very good relationship, and it's true that since the beginning, because I loved psychology and I was learning about myself during our lessons, we were talking a lot about these kind of things. And because, we were talking about him before, that he also likes to reflect. He's a very calm person.
Yes.
I love the way he sees or how practical he is, how pragmatic he is. So yeah, we had the chance to share so many things. And actually, at that moment, it was like, it was when I had the idea of writing this book. Because at that moment, I was like, okay, I know about psychology, you know about paddle,
Yeah.
let's mix it and let's write a book. But I didn't do it after 5 years later.
Well, since that moment that you thought about it, 5 years later, you
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
the book.
I wanted to do it once when I started playing paddle. Yeah. Because it was when I just was realizing all these kind of things. Like, okay, I'm here. I think I know myself. I studied psychology. I
Yeah.
did so many kind of courses, whatever. And suddenly I started playing in paddle, and I was like, shit.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
screaming, being angry, discovering that I was competitive. I didn't even know I was competitive. So all these kind of things were like, oh my God. And how do I handle all this? Because all these kind of things, they don't allow me to perform like my best, no? So with my coach that was Olej at that moment, we're talking a lot about these kind of things. And I just remember that there were so many kind of things that were so simple, but at the same time, so difficult to apply, you know, to put on practice. So it was like, I felt like we need to share all this
Yeah.
information with the world, with
Yeah.
all these people that they play paddle. And the thing was, when we moved to Bali 2 years ago, and then I just realized that everyone, like a bunch of people, started playing paddle, and everyone was in the same situation I was 5 years ago.
Can you explain the situation for the people who like, okay, what do you exactly mean?
I mean that, to me, what makes paddle so successful nowadays are two things. First of all, the part where you see that it's a very social sport, so it's great to be able to spend time there. But on the other side, it's because you learn very fast. You can have fun when you're playing, super easy. And yeah, like your learning curve at the beginning, it goes super, super, super fast. So our expectations is that we are going to learn like this forever. But what happened after 3 months, we don't reach all these expectations, no? And suddenly, or also, sorry, I'm gonna say as well, no? At the beginning, we only play for fun. We just play because one day we went there, don't even know what's this sport about?
Yeah.
There's some glass,
What is
whatever.
this?
But because we are capable, as I said, no, to enjoy. Tennis, it's not easy. You cannot even pass the ball to the other side. But in paddle, it's so easy that suddenly it's like, okay, I wanna play again. At the beginning, it's only for fun. Then one day, when you decide you want to play, then you want to reach some standards. And I think that here is when all our problems start, because
Well, our problems, real problem. Yeah, yeah.
paddle related
Yeah.
to paddle, but yeah, because yeah, we compare to each other. I mean, I remember thinking, okay, my sister, she has been playing for a year, and she was training 1 day per week, so I'm gonna do the same, and I'm gonna reach her level, without thinking that we are not the same person. We don't have the same skills. We don't have the same conditions. I mean, there are so many kind of things that we don't even think about it, no? So I think that there it's when we start with frustration, when we don't respect this learning curve that, as I said, it's like this.
Yeah.
So I feel that most of us, when we start playing paddle, we face this. So this is the situation that I was talking about. Like,
Yes.
everyone was playing paddle since max 1 year. So that's why I think that they were all facing some kind of frustration.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well explained. I recognize this.
Do you recognize this face?
Enormous. Yeah. You also play against maybe players that play a little bit less than you, so you're winning more easy, and then you face a very good opponent, and then you get humbled, and you drive home like almost sad. You're like, oh no, I thought I was never gonna lose. Oh, now I'm really bad. So then
Almost sad.
the mind, I was like, oh, but it's just paddle. Then you realize it's
Yeah.
for fun, but it's like a whole cycle, and it can be hard for people to know what to think. So What do you believe? Like I hear managing expectations is super important.
Mm-hmm.
What else is like a mistake that most people make but are not conscious of most of the time?
Well, I just, when I wanted to write this book, I was doing this kind of reflection, like, okay, what are the most important things? So after understanding that we need to manage how we evolve in paddle, after that, for me, the second thing that I realized that was super important is our inner voice, the way that we speak to each other. I think that it's massive. I mean, we can be extremely aggressive with ourselves. We can be really, really tough. So this is the second thing that I think that we should pay a lot of attention, because when we miss, we tend to say, you're a disaster, you cannot play anymore, or whatever, no? So I think that one of the main things is to realize what is this dialogue that we are having all the time, and realizing if it's helping us or not, and trying to change it. But it's not that easy, no? It's something that you need to practice, of course.
Yeah.
But because most of the times, if you would think that, imagine that someone would talk us like this, it's like, would you like allow someone to talk to you like this? So most of the times the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that for me this is one of the most important things, realizing that even we know some things, as we were saying before, no, there are things that they are simple, but simple doesn't mean easy.
Yes.
Trying to apply all these kind of things to our practice,
Yes.
it's you need to be aware all the time, and it's very tough. And many times, because we think we know how to react, it's like with technique, no? We know the technique, we know how to hold the racket, whatever. But sometimes we can just not do it. And if our inner voice, I call it our inner player,
Yeah.
if it's that tough, of course, what happens to our body is that our body becomes very tense, so it cannot perform, you know? We are blocked, suddenly we cannot move fast, because we are not trusting it, like we're not trusting ourselves.
Yes.
So especially, I think this is huge.
That's I believe I was literally when you said some things, maybe you saw me thinking about some situations in where I personally were saying things to myself that were not the smartest, but I was aware of it, and then I start to observe other people like automatically, and then I see what they do, and I see them for months, and I see them doing the same thing, and then I see like it blocks them here. So what is for you what makes a difference between those players that are, for example, playing in your first year, you have a crazy learning curve, you go up, you go down, you can go very fast, but you also face your personal challenges. Like what you said, I really learned a lot in paddle. Like, wow, like how do I talk to myself? What do I do before a game, after a game? What do I think? How do I cooperate with my partner? That's also very important. And but I'm gonna ask you all about that. And I'm like, what makes a difference in your eyes between a paddle player that's like improving, like naturally healthy, and also keeps the fun? Because that's I see people like making it so serious, and I'm like, I don't even want to play against you because you do like you're a pro, and all the fun is gone. What is the difference, the distinction between those players or the players that are playing for 1, 2, 3 years and still staying on the same level, also not having fun, making the same mistakes as over and over? What's the difference?
Well, we should ask them because.
What do you think?
First of all, I think that the most important thing that we should ask them, it's like, okay, what's your goals? I mean, because we all need to know that every time that we play, we have a goal. It's not the same playing in tournament during a weekend that playing on Tuesday with your friends, that playing another tournament. For example, here we have ABBT, where in Asia it's the biggest tournament that we have in Asia right now, no? So it's not the same the way you face all these kind of things. So for me, we should ask them, like, how do you want to face all these kind of things? Because if you are like meeting your friends to spend time on Tuesday afternoon after work, and you are going to like show all this frustration, I think that probably they are not facing in the good like way this time that they have, like it's free time, and so probably it depends. I would like to see every different case to be able to analyze it, because I don't like to generalize.
Yeah.
But usually I just think that if we are thinking about this stereotype where you can see someone that it's always frustrated, I would definitely think that this person is like using this sport to just like
Express
all this frustration that they have in general in life. But the problem is that usually in our lives or in the social situation we cannot express, because it's not allowed in a social manners. But then inside the paddle court we are allowed to do this kind of thing. We can scream, we can shout, we can. So I think that you can see actually how a person is when they are reacting inside a paddle court, because they can, you are acting in seconds. It's so there you can see all your character. It's direct.
Yes.
How you react after missing a shot. A shot. Sorry, it shows the way you are, like how are you feeling at this moment, and all these kind of things. So I think that paddle shows us literally like what we are going through, and part of our character as well.
Part of our character. I believe in that too. It's hard, of course, not easy to say like how everybody experience it, but overall, like I believe you also write it in the book, like how you reach a level of trust and flow. I'm very curious about that, by the way, because I believe everybody wants to feel the trust and flow state, but you cannot like be angry and have feeling trust at the same time. But I had to laugh because imagine like having a rule that you cannot shout in the court. Then a lot of people would stop right now. It would be a very strange game, because also the Spanish passionate guys do it. I do it too, but never at my partner and never opponent, always in myself, and it helps me at the moment. But I can imagine some people are shouting all the time, and it's almost annoying if you play against or with them, because it affects kind of the energy, right? So you in the book you talk about trust and flow, and I believe that's the greatest state. I believe personally the greatest state to come in, because you don't you don't think that much. But I had a coaching lesson today, and I always then think more the next time. I have to say I love it to learn, so I have no problems with that. I only have something like my mind is like, oh, you learn this, and then you have to adjust. So what is very important to come in the trust and flow state as a paddle player, and also, does this apply to every level, like beginner, intermediate, and the higher level? Because your man is playing like almost the highest level in Bali, surely. So is there a difference also between that to come in the trust and flow, or is it the same like mechanics that you have to use?
Yeah, I think it's the same, but in different levels. But as I was saying before, I do believe in these two players, no? This inner player that we all hold, that it's this inner voice that it's constantly telling us, bend your knees, move yourself, come on, you should get it, no? And it can be helpful many times, and also it can destroy us.
So I hear David talking in my ear now. move.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes this inner voice can be your coach. It can be, but many times also it can be your father, your teacher. So it not in a direct way, but probably if you don't trust with yourself, that's why I'm saying now that we show all the troubles that we have in life, because many times all this kind of frustration that we hold, we can express that. I mean, it shows there. So I think that the perfect balance to be able to be in this kind of state of flow, it's when this inner player allows our body, that I'm calling him the executor player, because at the end we need to understand that our body, it works like only for memory, you know. We learn how to do things, so we automatize them, you know. It's good. Automatize,
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. So at some point when we are learning, of course, we face some troubles because we need to automatize all these kind of movements. But why sometimes we are not capable to perform them? It's because something goes in between, and usually it's this inner voice that it's like, oh, careful, don't miss, play safe at this moment, whatever, no?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this state of flow arrives when you can, like, when this inner player trusts the executive player. It's there when you can perform perfectly.
Executive player.
Executive player,
The
let's call
automatic,
it the body.
the body, and then you have the inner player. So that's really important. I believe if you hear this, that really, so those two things to focus on, like inner player, how you talk to yourself,
Yeah.
and because it works together. So how you talk to yourself influences how your body moves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Basically, because you need to understand, we learn paddle with both of them. I mean, we need all these instructions, so we need this inner player.
Mm-hmm.
It's our memory, it's the way that we learn, basically. But we learn because someone tells us what to do, no? So, okay, you need to know that you need to open your racket to do this shot. So you need all those instructions to be able to perform. But once you already know it, then your body needs to practice it, so then you can, like, internalize it. Once you are so of course you need practice. It's not all about I don't trust that all these people that can speak to themselves perfectly, they are going to perform well. No, of course they need the technique.
Yeah.
Of course, and tactics and physics. But yeah, it's when we let our body learn, and then we trust him. Like, okay, you know how to do it. Now just do it. You know, I don't know if happened to you. It happened to me last tournament that I played with a friend of mine. We were quite motivated, and I remember that I repeat myself this mantra during the whole tournament, because I was training a lot at that moment with friends of mine. I was having a lot of fun, and I was thinking, I'm playing good right now. So during the whole tournament, of course, because I was nervous, sometimes whatever happened, that I was losing a little bit of confidence with myself, I was repeating myself this mantra, like, you train, you're ready, now go for it. Yeah. And I promise you, I did it during the whole tournament. And it worked.
You won?
We won. Actually, we won. I'm not going to say it's because of this, but definitely it helped me. Yeah.
It's beautiful that you said. You know what? Literally, I was thinking about when you're telling this. I want to ask you, what did this? This is really crazy. I have this often in a good conversation that I want to say something, ask something, and then they answer me already, because I had to think about the last time. And you remember that I told you that I said, "Hey, you played really better," because I know I talked to you, and then you say, "I'm not feeling it. I didn't play a lot," and then I saw you playing. I was like, "This is not bad." But I knew you could better because you told me. So I was like, okay, let's see in the coming months.
Yeah.
And then you played. And actually, guys, this was a crazy final. This was the longest juice advantage that I've ever seen. And my friends were sitting there. We had to laugh so hard. It was like 12 times or something.
Yeah.
And Erik was like, and it's juice again. It was, and then at the end you won the advantage.
I won the point because I remember like, I'm going to arrive to everything. I want to run
you
like
said,
crazy.
I train for it. I'm ready. Now go for it. But you guys, Sveta, you were playing so good. The final was beautiful. And then I watched you and I was like, and I already planned like to go have a podcast with you. So I was like, this is perfect. She grew in a way. So what I want to ask you, so really enjoyed it, and I congratulate you because I love it when you see the Knox Stadium like playing fire paddle, like a lot of rallies, and it was a wow. Especially when women play, it's more controlled most of the time, but this was also power. Because the finalists were all strong opponents.
They come from tennis, so
jeez, it was like boom, 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 and it was very ecstatic. You said that mantra before, like going into a tournament, because we have the Knox Cup in 2 weeks, and it's one of the biggest. I mean, so everybody's gonna listen this,
I think
and then
so.
what if you would be the coach for them right now, and they would listen to these advices? What would you tell them to prepare the best for the coming tournament, to play the best game, but also fun? Because I hear the word fun a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think, as we were saying, no, we need to be aligned with our goal. For example, in this case, I was very aligned because I was having lots of fun when I was playing, but I was also training, so I felt ready at some point. So I think that first of all, it's being aware of, do you feel ready? I mean, have you been training? Do you want to compete? Do you have a partner that you like to play with? This is huge. It's super important. Think about our partner and also realize if we have the same goal, same mission when we are playing. And to me would be yes, and definitely realize how confident you feel right now with yourself, because sometimes we have injuries, sometimes we have some situation that even if we were playing good or whatever, maybe we just doubt a little bit. And we need to remember that padel is a sport that it's made of choices all the time. You have to make a choice in not even a second, and making the right choice is super important. So that's why you need to be confident with yourself. And of course, sometimes you're going to win, and many more times you're going to lose. Also, you need to be ready for that. No, so I mean, I think that it's like 400 people that they join this tournament, and how many they win?
Even more.
Even more, yeah. Yeah, lately it's been crazy.
About 600, I heard, but
Yeah, it can be. It's growing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So we need to understand and being ready to lose, and because it can happen, of course, because we cannot only focus on the score, because if we only focus on the score, we are not going to be able to perform our best. We are going to be determined of the situation that's going on, and we cannot control that. So I would definitely say, pay attention to, like, are you moving around the court? Pay attention to your legs before everything else. Don't pay attention of your movements, your arms, whatever. The most important thing is being aware of, am I active? I am ready. Am I thinking, oh, please miss the ball? My opponent, sometimes we are there and like, oh, please, double fault. Of course not. You cannot have this mentality, because imagine yourself being there thinking, please do a double fault. You're not ready for receiving that shot. So yeah, being aware. I would say definitely being aware of how are you feeling, what are your thoughts, how is your communication with your partner, what do you need. Especially, I think that it's super important understanding, as a team sport, and only two people inside the court. It's super important to being able to communicate what do you need during a tournament, a whole tournament, or even a game, because, yeah, it's not fair to think that we can lose a game because of my partner. No? So, yeah, basically, I don't know. I said many things. I don't know if it's too much.
No, very good advice. I hear. I mean, what you just said is all very important. I believe if you really play a lot, you can also adapt to all of those skills. But you have to train, feel good. What would you say, like, if we make it like a lifestyle, like pragmatic, like three things three simple steps, and what everybody can do, and the rest would be like extra. But one thing I hear, like the footwork, and I personally agree, because today I learned like how many wins there in footwork. Like I wasn't ready with my feet, and then you gotta compensate with the rest, and then the ball's going everywhere. So but then you have to work harder to go down, and that's the hard work that I think most people are avoiding, because I see a lot of people not going down and not doing this. So what would you say, like, if there are three things, like very pragmatic, that to watch, or to be aware of before they start the tournament?
Basically, is you need to focus on the things that you can control.
Ooh. That's a big thing.
It's a huge thing. As I said, we cannot blame the sun, we cannot blame the crowd, we cannot blame the partner. So we need to focus on what we can control all the time. So footwork, you were saying, I think it's super important. Being aware of how I am reacting all the time, and my breath, if I am feeling anxious, like being able to manage, no, all these emotions. So I would definitely think about these kind of things, like the things that I can control all the time. And yeah, basically it would be the attitude that I'm having in the court when I'm performing. How I'm reacting all the time when things are going. But
Thank you.
definitely the footstep, it's what you could definitely see faster, because many times we blame, like, oh no, I'm not having this perfect shot that I used to have it. When I train, I
Used
have it.
to.
We call it in Spain, it's like, I have this shot. It's like, yeah, but you're
How do you
not.
say it? How do you say it in Spanish?
Este lo tengo. This movement,
Okay.
I have it. And it's like, yeah, but not now. So, and what's going on? And many times because we are under pressure, whatever. So, as I was saying, probably what happens is that our body gets stuck, so we are not being able to move that fast, whatever. No, so yeah, I think that one of the first things that we can realize is, am I moving? Because if you are paying too much attention of what you are doing with your arm, I think that you are totally lost. It's because it's not about your arm; it's usually about your legs.
Take note, guys. Take notes. Yeah,
Move,
yeah, yeah.
guys, move,
Move. Vamos.
breathe,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
communicate with your partner.
Oh,
Basic.
I find that one it's one for me because the breathing is exactly very important. But I see people like chilling on the field, but how they react on moments, that's something that annoys me personally. That I see the face like this, or they move to their partner and they watch like, why do you do that? And you feel like what's happened, and it's very sad because you're on the same level.
Yeah.
So personally, like watch what you're saying and stay positive although it's not happening, because somebody can make a great point after missing a point. I found it out so many times and I'm like, whoa, if you make them like feel like shit and then they make a great point, what you gonna
Definitely.
do? Gonna say, oh, great point. So that's not fair to me. So the one you said is actually really funny. Yeah. So people, I was like, oh, this bandeja could be better, and then I watch my footwork. And I'm like, oh, you could never hit
Yeah.
it better.
Of course not, because you're late. Because you
Exactly.
cannot move, because you cannot react,
Yeah.
because you are more. That's why also your job, I mean, being capable to be like in contact with your partner, I mean, having a good like communication and everything, it's so important, because sometimes we are more, we are paying more attention of what my partner is doing than what am I doing. So probably when the ball comes to me, I'm not ready, or I'm more thinking that when my partner is going to hit the ball, is he going to miss it or what? No? So
Yes.
sometimes that makes us like not being able to be in the right spot inside the court, or I mean, strategy. It's also super important. Positioning. I would definitely think, okay, guys, remember, strategy is important. Take your time between points. If you're not feeling well, take your time, tie your shoe, whatever you need, drink water. But breathing, it's, I think, the most important thing to be able to regulate all these emotions, especially when we are anxious or nervous.
Thank you, Cristina. Really, this helps me a lot. No, because I'm now watching. I will watch it, but also my friends are very open to learn. We love to learn, and we have a lot of fun on the court. That's, I think, why we progress. So I'm gonna take it for sure. I didn't realize all of those things, but now I do. Now I do. So this reminds me of something. Like, I have so much benefits of having a coach. I have different coaches now. I have like David, the Spanish. He's talks so Spanish. It's almost as
We
if I'm
all
in,
do.
in Spain. Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
true. But
something
David
that we
is
cannot
really
take
like
away
all the way,
from him.
all the time. Vamos, and move your feet. But I learned so much from
Sound a
him.
little bit more Italian.
Yeah, actually, David is maybe like half Italian, and he's so honest to me, and I love it. Like, he can do it. I enjoyed very much. A coach actually changed your life. I mean, your perspective. My perspective also, like
I think.
a coach also, like a therapist, really changed my perspective on life. That made my quality of life better through a few questions and awareness. And what do you believe that's like the importance of a coach in paddle?
Yeah, I think that it's huge, the impact that we have. Well, coaches have. I'm not a coach. I can see it with Aleix. He's my husband. I can see how he the impact that he had in me when we were training at the beginning. Then when we started the relationship, we stopped training together. It was different, but I can see all the time like how all his students are like extremely grateful with him, because I can see that a good coach can help us in many different ways. I mean, it's not only, as we were saying, no, inside the paddle court, but it also helps us to think, to reflect, to react. So I think that all these kind of things we also apply that in our lives. So I think it's huge. I think that being like some connection with your coach, it's fundamental. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I really have a good connection with David, and it's great. Like as a human being, that I'm really grateful. Like
Yeah.
so many mistakes that I don't make anymore, and I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I make a mistake, and like next time I'll tell him, and he's like, you did this wrong.
Yeah.
Like Jorge, you were doing this wrong. Yeah, I have to. Yeah,
I
very
have to say
valuable.
that you are saying this, and of course in our life, paddle becomes a huge part of our life. No, it becomes part of our identity.
Yeah.
But I was even thinking right now, no, these past days was Alcaraz was playing, he won,
Wow.
and you can see they are always, always, always like looking at the coach. You can see the first person that he wants to celebrate with is with his coach,
Yes.
because it's a person that he's there supporting, believing. For me, it's also super important. I realize that if I have a coach that do not push me a little bit, I feel like, do you think that I cannot improve? So I think that all, of course, no, I was talking about huge situation, that it's something like the win of Carlos this past weekend. But for us, it's in our way, but it's also huge. I mean, all these small achievements that we do in paddle,
Yeah.
at some point, it's like we feel that it's thanks to our coach that
Yeah.
was there. No, it's like, oh, I learned all these kind of things because of you. You
Yeah.
were there for me.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I think that it's.
That's beautiful. I can feel that really much. Yeah, that's you do it as a team, and
Yeah.
I see that with Elias. He's watching you, and I see him, and you're playing there.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's one team. He told you a few things that we never know what, because that's the secret. But the last question I have for you, time is flying. I have so many more questions. Is like, what is your future vision for now? You wrote a book, and I would say, by the way, buy the book. I have the luck that I ask her the questions, but if you're not here and you have no access to Cristina, it's hard to have access to her. And don't ask her all the questions. She needs some free time, and prepare the matches also. So buy the book. It will change your paddle life for sure, and change your mindset, play way better. What is your future vision? Now you wrote a book. What take us into your ideal future? Do you have something in mind? You want to share?
I was honestly, I wrote this book with no goals. I mean, I just did it because I wanted to do it. Everyone was asking me like, "Wow, how do you picture yourself?" I was like, "No, it's something that I just wanted to do since so long ago." And also because I'm not a writer. Now I am.
Now you are.
But
She's a writer.
at that moment, I felt quite insecure. But now, since I have like super good feedback, I'm already thinking about how else I can share, and especially some academies, good academies, one in Barcelona, some in Dubai. They approached to me to try to apply all this kind of knowledge to their coaches, so they can share it with all their students. So now I'm thinking that I'm going to develop something about. I didn't do
There
it yet.
is something
so,
coming.
but it's something coming, yeah, because I truly believe that it's very important. I mean, I think that if you have a good coach, they already have some knowledge about these kind of things, but I think that we all need to reflect. So, yeah, I would love to be able to share what I learned during these past years. So I think it would be huge to be able to share it with the academies.
Yes, you're gonna do it. I'm sure about it. You're gonna. It's needed. I see it. People
Yeah.
don't know how to think, and you're gonna teach them how to think. So there are great things waiting for you. I mean,
Thank you.
and I see how
Also.
passionate you are about it. I'm as passionate about paddle as you are about this. So I can, yeah, I can sense it, and I know that it will really benefit people's lives, and they can learn also in their personal life.
I
So this is the first episode, but I really, when we're back from vacation and stuff, we're gonna do the second episode to dive
Sure.
more into psychology and like personal things and the lessons you've learned over the last months and the months that are coming. But for now, I really want to thank you for everything you shared with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. It went so fast, and the man here said 5 minutes left, and I was like, wow, that was so fast.
I
So
can stop talking. I'm sorry.
no, that's why I want you to. If you don't talk, I think I made a mistake. I didn't ask a good question, or you don't like it. So I really enjoyed it. Me encanta. And
Yes.
if there's one thing you want to say to the one small thing to close off this podcast for every human being.
Well, first of all, it's that I'm very, very thankful that someone like you're interested in having this conversation, and lately also thanks to my account in Instagram, I'm realizing that, as I said, I started this as more as a hobby, that's something that I wanted to like for, I didn't want to do it for work, but then I just realized that I'm actually helping people. So I'm just like super thankful, like impressed and happy to be able to walk this journey. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Really, you're really welcome. So thank you, and thank you for watching, for listening. Apply everything. Use it. If you have any questions or you want to know more, follow Cristina on Padel Psychology. I mean, it can be more clear. If you have any questions for me, at Suroesh, but we put it all in the description. You can find us online. For now, I want to thank you. Have a great day or a great night whenever you're listening this, and make the best of this. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Good. Thank you so much for the extra minutes. I mean, I had like, I don't know if I had many more questions, but we could talk. Had a few questions, and we talked so much about it. So thank you so much. It was
Thank
really
you.
nice. I loved
I
it.
tend to.
But you know what's good? Like,
Do you already have